good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to Bariatrics and Beyond, a very special Halloween edition episode. I'm your host, Jessica Rabbit, obviously. But today we have some past patients, local Vegas girls. So let's introduce them. We have Joe. We have Andy.
Hello.
And we have Nicole back for a encore performance. All right. So tell us a bit about yourself, about your costume and everything. So let's start with you, Joe.
Okay, so I'm Joe. I got weight loss surgery, and then I dressed up as Morticia Adams today.
I am Andy. I also went and had the gastric sleeve. I am Josie. Josie and the Pussycat.
I love that.
I'm Nicole. I was a bariatric coordinator, but now I'm actually Dr. Espino's face coordinator. I had gastric sleeve probably 3 years ago, and I just had my face done 2 months ago. And I am Cleopatra.
And I'm Kayla, dressed up as Jessica Rabbit. And let me tell you guys, this has always been a goal costume for me. At 350 pounds, I could never have been. Well, I mean, I could have been Jessica Rabbit, but I would never have the confidence to be Jessica Rabbit. And I'm a Halloween girly. I know you girls are Halloween girlies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how has losing weight changed the way you dress?
I feel like for me, I know how to dress my body now versus before. And you can ask her because I would always call her, I don't know what to wear. And she's like, just put something cute on. I'm like, I don't know how to dress my body. But now it's like easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And I love being able to go to a regular store and find something I can take home.
But doesn't it take a while for your brain to catch up? Because I remember when I was no longer in plus size sections and I would go into a store physically, the first thing I would do would go to like the back of the rack for the larger sizes. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not that anymore. Like, it takes a while for your brain to catch up. Huh?
I will still, it's just like when I go shopping now, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to get the medium or I'm going to get the large. And then my partner's like, you're a size small. And I'm like, no, I don't think this is going to fit me. And then she'd be like, just go try it on. And then I would try it on and I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Isn't that wild?
So like in my head, it's still
Your brain doesn't register
that I'm as small as I am, which is, gets very complicated in your head.
Right. So take us back to the beginning, you guys. So you both had gastric sleeve surgery, correct?
Mm-hmm.
With, who was your surgeon?
Dr. Ortiz.
Yeah, Dr. Ortiz.
Yeah.
Okay. So at your highest weight, what was that?
280.
What about you, Andy?
I was like 245.
And what were you, Nicole?
201.
Wow, that's incredible. And then, so how much weight have you lost total? And when was your surgery? And how much weight have you lost? And how long did it take to lose that, you think?
So 3 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago. Because I got mine a month after Andy got hers.
Was it a month?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought
You each other's companions?
No.
No.
Okay.
Kayla was
I was Andy's
that's
companion.
right. That's right.
Mhm. Yep.
So 3 years ago, and now I'm 170, so over 100 pounds. It took me about a year and a half. I got down really low, though. I got down to like about 142 pounds.
Isn't it crazy how we'll get down to our lowest weight, but that's not necessarily where our body wants to be or necessarily needs to be. I think for so long, we chase being overweight, pretty much your entire life, you chase
smaller number.
So yeah, I need to lose weight. And then you get there and you're at the thinnest you've been. You're not necessarily the healthiest you've ever been. And you're not necessarily
Looking the best.
you've ever been. Because I think I got down to 137 and my family were calling me and they go, you need to eat. You look sick. Are you okay? And I was just like, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm like 137.
Yeah.
And then it's like, whoa. And then now that I look back at the photos, I'm like, oh, I really did not look well. So I think your body really adjusts to where it's comfortable. And I think that's kind of hard. Like when, after weight loss surgery, you might regain a few pounds after and people freak out. But I think it's just so normal, isn't it?
Oh gosh. I'm right now. So the thing with having friends that did the sleeve as well, all of you guys got so tiny and I didn't. I lost probably 65 to 70 pounds. And seeing everyone just how skinny they were, I got really jealous. And I'm like, damn, I dropped a lot of sizes. Don't get me wrong. I was feeling it. But my body was just like, no, you're right here. I want to say I was at 165 was my lowest. And I'm like, that's not low enough. but I looked good.
Right.
But it wasn't low enough.
Low
me.
enough
your
for
head-
food.
for the- for
Yeah,
numbers.
exactly.
In my head.
Yeah, isn't
And
that
so I would
crazy?
Because she would
compare myself to
constantly
her.
ask me, how much do you weigh?
And we're like the same height. I'm a little bit taller, but she's like, I'm 140. And I'm like, I can't pass 165. What
Right.
the hell?
She would be so mad at me.
Yeah.
Andy, on the same. Nicole's like 1-0.
Yeah.
And I see how she eats and I see how she doesn't work out. And then I pass my butt at the gym twice a day. Like I'm so like strict on what I eat. And I'm like, what? Like it's just not fair. But you know,
You were a lot bigger than me too, though. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
and you've lost a hell of a lot
and
more than I did. You know what I mean?
and
So
I think comparing your journey robs you
Oh,
of,
100%.
of like happiness and robs you of like your hard work and where you've been. So it's really important not to compare,
Yeah.
you know, and to be happy with your progress and to be happy with
Right.
who like all the things that you've achieved. Is like when we say non-scale victory, like who cares about the scale? Like,
But it's so hard.
Right.
It's so hard
Oh, yeah.
not to look at
Because
the
now
scale.
we're both like freaking out. So you said 170 right now?
170.
That's where I'm at, 170. So I'm in
And-
that freak out mode, especially like towards the holidays. I eat a lot, you guys. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to figure my life out before the holidays.
That's so crazy.
You know?
But do you feel like, what about your restrictions? You know, like after
Yeah.
you've had, do you feel like you can eat more than you did? Like, do you feel like you still have a restriction? Like, how does that feel? Because Kayla you don't necessarily feel like you have, like,
I'm 6 years post-op and I can eat a lot more now.
right.
But
yeah,
also
obviously.
I work out a lot more now. So
Yeah.
I've
You
got an
burn
appetite.
it so fast.
And I've got an appetite,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's
I still struggle. I think that's like, so because like she just said, she's 170 and I'm 170, right? But like our body is very different from each other.
mhm.
Like I'm a size 4'6" versus I think you said
You're a
size
4'6".
8'10".
I'm like a 10-12. I'm
Yeah.
like back. I'm
And
like
we weigh the
back in
same
plus
exact.
size.
So
Yeah.
like the number really doesn't determine
doesn't
like
Yeah,
your
right.
size.
Mhm. Yeah.
And she tells me all the time, I just wish I got as tiny as you. And I told her, like, getting down to 142 pounds, I said, was probably not the best for me mental
Mhm.
health wise. I
Yep.
said, because now if I get on the scale and it's going up, automatically freak out.
Yep.
Automatically, like, I shouldn't eat this and I'm going to start restricting myself. But I do still struggle. I struggle with if I'm going to drink something, it's like all day I'm drinking, but then I forget to eat.
Right.
And then if I eat, I still get the foamies. I still like, my body still rejects a lot of
Really?
food. Yeah. So when me and her had went out to eat a little bit, like almost a year after,
Mhm.
we went to a restaurant and like I got like the chicken and like some mashed potatoes or whatever. And then Andy had like a salad and I was like, like, and I was so jealous because I love salad, right?
yeah.
And she was just eating it like nothing. And I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. She's like, what do you mean? And I was like, girl, I don't know how you can eat that. I can't eat that much food. Like we're like completely different. But then drinking wise, I can outbeat Andy drinking.
Right.
You know, like,
You can fit more liquid sort of.
yeah,
and
well,
stuff like
even
that.
when we tried alcohol, Andy would get like one drink and she'd be like, I'm tired.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
That's me. But
Thing,
even
yeah.
prior to food, I don't drink, but I always got tired.
I couldn't. I
Just
couldn't get
deal with
drunk.
Alcohol.
No, I couldn't. I remember the first time that I tried and I was drinking, and nothing was happening. I'm like, what the hell?
See, I feel the same way as you. Like
Yeah,
I
nothing
can
happens.
drink, like if we go out to dinner
Yeah.
and we're drinking drinks, no problem.
Yeah.
I don't get tired. I don't get
Yeah.
sleepy. And Andy's like, how did you do? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. There's only been one time. Well, there's been one or so times that I've tried it and I've had a quick shot and then I got tipsy real quick,
And
but then it was
fine.
over.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
away,
like-
go
it's like
quick,
in and out,
yeah.
like
You
in and out.
metabolize it
I'm like-
fast.
Like, so you're either going to be a cheap drunk or you're not going to,
Or
you're not going
tired.
to get
Tired.
drunk or you're going to pass
Right.
out. Like it's in and out. Or
Yeah.
it's going to be very expensive to try and get drunk because you don't stay drunk.
The first time
Right.
I felt it, we were at Disneyland and we got 2 drinks.
That's right.
And I had a margarita, right? Like Alicia.
Give me one margarita.
Right? I'm walking and my partner's taking forever because supposedly they were both for her, right? And I wanted the ice.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right?
You did.
Yeah. Okay, Joe.
And, no, I kept drinking it. And then by the time we got to like the other ride, I was like, oh, I could feel it in my
Right.
knees.
Yeah.
And I texted her and I go, Margarita. And she started laughing. And I was like, dude, this is the first time I ever felt
Yeah.
like the alcohol. But by the time we got off of the ride, it
It
was
was
gone.
done. Yeah.
And was it a
Yes.
small world?
It was-
That's a long ride.
No, it was Cars Land. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
far.
The car's right.
That's so funny. But it's like Well, I guess the take on all of that is like, there's no, like, this journey is not linear. Like, it is not one size fits all. It's not one way.
Mhm.
So it's really
no, it's not the
important
same
not
for
to
everybody.
compare. Yeah, it's not the same for everyone. It's really important not to compare yourself. So we were talking about weight. So there's like I feel like there's a huge scale debate. Where do you guys sit on like weighing yourself? How often? And
Oh
that
no,
kind of-
I can't. I can't. It bothers me.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get disappointed and fall into a funk and all that.
Yep.
So I put it away.
You don't weigh in at all
No.
anymore?
Mm-mm.
Yep. What about you, Joe? I know people
do.
weigh in daily.
Oh no, that's
Oh no.
I weigh in like every 2 weeks. It's like I told you, it's very mental for me.
Yeah.
Like very, very mental for me.
Mhm.
And I try not to do it,
Mhm.
but it's hard.
Do you find that keeps you accountable in a
It
way?
it's a
Double-edged sword.
yes,
Mm.
because it does keep me accountable. Because
Yep.
like I said, if I see the scale going up, then I'm like, okay, I'm obviously eating things that I should not be
Mhm.
eating. So then I'll go back to kind of like the basics, and then I'll meal prep like
Yeah.
like I like will do every single thing.
Mhm.
I know I can tolerate 2 eggs, and I know that I can
Right.
do this, and I know I can do that, and I'm not going to stop here, and I'm not going to get this,
Mhm.
you know. But then again, it becomes so consuming, all consuming in my
Yes.
head
Yep.
that I'm kind of like, am I doing good or am I doing bad? You know, like
Yeah.
for myself,
Yeah.
for
Right,
my own
for your-
mental
for your-
health,
yeah.
you know, like, so it's very hard. My son will take the scale and hide it.
Oh, good. Good boy.
So- and then that's
I think.
that's-
What about
that's-
you? How
um,
often do you weigh in?
Jeez. What I try to do when I was having surgery is I would only weigh myself once a month on the day that I had it. So if I had my surgery on the 11th of February, the 11th of March, the 11th of April, and I did it like every month, just to see what I was like. And I purposely stayed off it. But every time, and I used to say this to my patients all the time, every time you weigh yourself a month later, it's always a loss. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, most of the time it's a loss, right? So, but if you weigh yourself every week, you might go up, you might go down, you might
Yeah.
have your period, you might be bloated, you might
Yeah.
be retaining a lot of
fluctuate.
water, right? So, so then
Loaded.
that messes with your head, right? But if you weigh yourself each month, like I think, like the first time it was like maybe 15 pounds I lost, then maybe it was 7 pounds I lost, and then maybe it might have been 4, and then
Yeah.
3. But every time I jumped on there, it was still less than what I was before, and then that put me in a good mood. I'm like, I lost some weight, and then I got to the point where it's just a pound here, 2 pounds here. You know what I mean? And then, but like I said, I didn't have that as much to lose either. So it was still a loss. And I think after probably the first 6 months and so I probably did the best. And then the last 6 months, it was just a pound here or there. And then after that, after the first year, it was every now and then I'd think, oh, maybe I should jump on the scale. So I'd got to my lowest. And then I think I got to about, I think I started about 115, then I think I got back up to 127, and then I got down to 114, and then I went back up to 119. So I sit to about, I'm in between probably, I can't even tell you the last time I weighed myself, honestly, but I know that I'm somewhere there.
Like you fluctuate
know?
between those numbers.
Yeah, and I was from 14, 19, and I don't think I saw over 20 after, but I haven't weighed myself for a really long time either, but it was only, I tell people when they're starting off, just do it once a month on your anniversary, because otherwise it's gonna mess with you. You know?
Guys, I don't even own a scale.
Yeah.
I don't own a scale. I did when I first started because I had to put what my weight was on the application, on the health questionnaire,
Mhm.
and that took me forever to fill out that health questionnaire because I'm like, I don't want to weigh myself. I was so in denial, and I've always been petrified of the scale my whole life. And so bought a scale just to fill out the form. And then I think I weighed myself like a couple times after surgery, like 2 months after, and then I went to put the scale away and then it shattered. I dropped it and it shattered into a million pieces. And probably like
It's glass, right?
yeah, glass. 3 months in, and I was like, you know what?
That was your cue.
I
of
never
no
bought
more.
another one. I don't care.
Mm.
My goal was at that point, I was like, don't worry about a number. Because someone asked me early on, like, how much weight are you trying to lose? And I was like, oh, I didn't think about a number. I just knew that I needed to lose weight.
Yeah.
My goal was never a number. My goal was always a lifestyle change because I had been on diets before where I focused on numbers, and then that's when I yo-yoed because you don't see it moving and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, you know what, this time around I'm going to focus on consistency, just waking up again the next day and doing it again and doing it again. And then eventually it just became normal, so it really
Routine.
was a lifestyle change. And like, it's so cliche when people go, oh, it's a lifestyle change, but guys, it really is. Like it so is. So yeah, I don't even own a scale. I don't. Like I can physically tell when like, oh, I'm a bit bloated or maybe I'm, this or that. And you can tell when the way
You can
close,
feel
but
it.
you can feel it. And so at the end of the day, it's all about how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you feel. And if you're not feeling your best, figure it out.
For
Don't worry
sure.
about the number. Don't compare. Just figure it out.
Mm.
So circling back, what was like I'm sure we all had that like aha moment where we didn't feel good and we're like, I need help. And we've all been on diets, right? Yo-yo diets, on and off and on and off. And so what was like your aha moment where you're like, I need to have surgery and this is what I'm doing?
I think mine was the day that we went to Disneyland and we took Aubrey and Camila. And then remember they took us a picture of Moana?
Yeah.
Dude.
Was a
Oh
photo
my
that
God.
you've seen?
I didn't even recognize myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you don't recognize yourself.
And you're like,
I would
that's it. It's surgery. I don't need the surgery.
I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, you started shrinking, but you hadn't told anybody yet.
Uh-huh.
And then I was talking to Andy, and then Andy was just like, well, you did it before. Maybe just go back to the gym the way you did it. Because I mean, I did, but like I told you, it becomes all consuming. So like your gym is twice. No, girl. My gym was 2 hours at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Go to school, come home, take care of the kids. 2 hours at night.
It's a lot.
And then I did I had a trainer and he would say, you need this, 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 and this. And I did not move from those 5 things.
Yep.
And it was so like consuming that like I would buy a vending machine and I would see like the candy and I would want one so bad. And I would buy it. Right. And I would hold it. And then I'm like, oh, this wasn't the one that I wanted. And I would give it away. It was the one that I wanted, but it was the whole active that I was able to hold it.
Wow.
So you were fighting with temptation.
You
the whole
were
time.
really tempted. Wow.
And I did. I was like 280 at that point too, and I got down to 130 pounds.
Oh wow.
But I lived in the gym. I lived so strict.
You're not living,
so
to be honest. Like you're not enjoying life. Like you're so consumed.
Like when I didn't have school and I didn't have work,
Yeah.
like I would work out even in between the other 2 workouts. So she was like, just go back to like basics, but don't, because she knew, like, like how crazy I was back then. She's like, just don't get crazy. And that's what I told her. I said, I don't know how to be in the middle.
Yeah, I'm an all or nothing as well.
I said,
like,
so
it's
it's
either
so
all or it's
hard. And she's
nothing.
like, I know, but because I got down to 135 pounds. And I kept telling her.
Was that without weight loss at the start?
Yeah.
Right.
That was just my whole life at a gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would tell Andy, just 5 more pounds. Just 10 more pounds. Just if I would do 10 more pounds, you're talking now I'm 5'6" at 120 pounds.
Yeah, that's
and then Andy's like, girl, you're looking so sick. Like you need to stop, But like I said, it's
you
like
don't see
all
that yourself.
consuming. Yeah. So then when I gained all the weight and then they took that picture and I didn't recognize myself and she was like, just start slow, like start with the gym slowly. And we did. We started going to the gym.
Did you get bigger than you were before, like the second time around after you lost all the weight?
Yeah, because I want to say that I like teetered at 295, but then when I finally filled out the paperwork, like I was at 280.
So it was that picture at Disneyland where you're like, nope, I'm having the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
So for me, it was just noticing mental health, like everything going on with mental health. Wait, I'm trying to think. Was this after COVID that we went? Yeah.
3 years ago. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So COVID really did a number on mental health. And I was just like,
Yeah, because tell everyone what you do for a living because COVID shut your business down.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I do hair and makeup.
As you
Bridal
can see,
hair and makeup. I've been doing it for 15 years.
Andy is like the girl, the go-to girl in Vegas. If you want those, if you want those vintage waves,
yes,
like,
and the face,
flawless,
specialty,
flawless.
yes.
But sorry,
and no, but so like during the shutdown, I didn't work for like 6 months. That was like the hardest thing because I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? So mentally, I was not okay. I knew I wasn't okay, but I want to say just watching you, Kayla, and like your whole thing, it was just so like inspirational. And me and her always talked about it. And we're like, if she can do it, we can do it. We can do it. So it was kind of just watching you. Yeah. Motivating.
I say that to everyone, like, you guys, if I can do it, the girl who's been morbidly obese since the minute she popped out, if I can do it, gosh, anyone can. And I'm the fussiest eater too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you're very determined. You know what I mean?
I know.
Kayla's like one of the most
There's not a lot of people. that are like Kayla.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is that looking at you, it's a very high expectation of like what we need to be. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, she's just a queen. Like, I don't think that any of us can get
Yeah,
to
she's
that.
very,
But
No,
very
but can I
determined.
tell,
Still
but can I tell you
inspirational.
why that
Yeah.
is? And you guys haven't experienced it. You guys have never experienced not fitting on an airplane seat. You guys have never experienced missing out on going somewhere
Yeah.
because you physically can't fit or you physically
Yeah.
can't walk up those stairs. Like, you probably haven't not experienced life to the way I was.
100%
Restricted.
Yeah.
And I know where I never want to go back, and I know how much I love life and I love living. So
Yeah.
for me, I have a higher standard because I've been to
sure.
where you guys never want to go to. Trust me, you never want to
Yeah.
get there. So that's what keeps me going every day. Is
Like when she
go
went to the
back.
amusement park, remember? And she posted.
Yeah.
And you were like so excited because you were going to get on the ride. And I was like,
Yeah.
I know.
And like you have to think,
Yeah.
me and her would go to Disneyland constantly.
time.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Even
like,
as a
yeah.
kid, like I wouldn't fit on rides as a kid, so I'd never been on rides.
I
So-
remember when you went on the first roller coaster. I don't remember she got off and she was like, that was horrible. She's like, my head. Like, I'm like, yeah, it throws you around a little bit. She's like, I don't know if I want to do that again. I'm like, no, you don't. You know what? I remember one of the first things with you was, right, we were in, this is the most bizarre thing that we would never even think of, right? We were down in La Jolla.
Yes.
And we're down at the
I know what you're
beach.
gonna say.
And we went down to the beach, right? And there was like kind of rocks and stuff like that. And there was like a gap in the rocks. So there was like big, and it wasn't big or high or anything like, but there was a gap, maybe of like, I don't know, a big foot space. And you were in workout clothes. We're all like just like casual and
lost
stuff like
weight.
that. And she'd already lost weight. And so, you know, she'd been working out and stuff like that. And I'm like, we're going over here, and we walk over and we just like step over the rock, and Kayla just like stood there. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, she just had never
Like
bridged that,
physically, like
Yeah.
did that movement
Scary.
before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Like she'd never like stepped with that big wide of a stance, let's just say. And it wasn't a jump. It wasn't a
Without
leap.
rail or without
It wasn't
pushing, pulling, or-
anything.
Yeah.
It was just a little, like maybe a foot,
Yeah.
right? Maybe even a foot. And I think I might have even said like, I'll hold your hand, or like, no, we could, like, you can just step sideways, or however we did it.
Yeah.
But just then for me going, this is a movement that she hasn't even experienced
Yeah.
before. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
wild? Like just something
People
that little.
that have never been morbidly obese wouldn't understand
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
little things, or
Yeah.
like, even just like moving past something and always trying to like scooch in or like be like your smallest self, just to like I still do it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Mm.
Okay, so we all had our aha moment. So what yours was?
It's just,
yeah, sorry.
it was mental health. It was
Yeah.
just recognizing like, wow, I'm not okay. I'm literally binge eating. I'm depressed, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, yes, I went through all the workouts, dieting and all that. And I just felt like, again, just watching you and your journey just really motivated me, and it made me not afraid. And I just
Aw.
did it. And I was like, okay. And just talking with you.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is you're so open with talking to people that's amazing, you know, that you gave me the courage, and then it was like both
And there's
of
no
us
shame,
talking.
and there's,
Yeah,
you know what I
no
mean? Like it's
shame,
easy enough
yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know when I had the surgery in Mexico, because it was 6 years ago, people were like, especially, you know,
Oh
family,
yeah, me.
Mexico, are you crazy? La, 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 la. But
I was like, you are not
and
doing
this was
that.
like before social media was like, well, not that social media
Mhm.
was a big thing, but like the EOC presence on social media was, there
Yes.
was really not much of a
Mhm.
presence.
Yeah.
There was like a Facebook group, but it was a private group. So there was not much you could really Google and find out. And then I remember when I had the surgery, I was like, oh my gosh, on our way home, because Nicole's my companion, I'm like, this was the best experience. Like, I got to tell the world, I got to let everybody know. Like,
I
this
feel
was,
like I went on holidays. She's like,
this was so good.
So do I.
And like,
she goes, but I just had surgery. We're like
just
walking
had
with our
surgery,
shopping
and I'm
bags,
not
like
in like
all the gifts.
$25,000 worth of debt, you know? So I was like, I got to tell everybody. I got to tell the world about this, because I just didn't know that anyone really knew that having
could do
weight
it
loss
that way.
surgery in Mexico was an option, and how good of an experience it was. So
Mhm.
I just, I remember like, I need to tell everybody about this. So when you guys told your family, hey, I'm having weight loss surgery and it's going to be in Mexico, like, what was their reaction?
You're from Mexico, so, but for me, and I'm Hispanic.
My family, my mom's
Yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah.
So, you
She was
know,
cool
my
with it?
dad. I first spoke to my doctor
Mm.
because obviously there was a lot of doctors aren't going to want to take care of you
Yes.
here because your
Mm.
surgery
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
So I talked to my doctor, and she was the most supportive
I
person
love
ever.
that.
Mine was
Wow.
too.
She told me, she's like, you are a great candidate.
Oh, beautiful.
She's like, because I cannot figure out why you are not skinny.
Yep.
She's like, because all of your blood work, you should have diabetes, high blood pressure. I was 285 pounds when she weighed me, 295. And she was like, you don't have high blood pressure. You don't have cholesterol. You don't have diabetes. She's like, all of your numbers are that of a fit person.
Mm-hmm.
She's also, if you want to do that, I will definitely take care of you.
Beautiful. And because
Yes.
there'd be no way insurance would even cover you if
No.
you don't have all those comorbidities. So you guys, if you have a PCP that is not supportive of you going to Mexico for weight loss surgery,
Find another one.
you need
Sorry.
to find another. You need to find
Really?
Find another one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
it's all like it's a monopoly to be
So after I
honest.
talked
Yeah.
to her, I told Andy, and Andy was like, yeah, we should do it. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And then she was like, but we need to do it before like I get scared and not do it.
Yeah.
What were you scared of, Andy?
Well, okay, so back to the
Yeah.
family.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that so my family was not for it
Yeah.
at all. No one.
Not for the surgery or not for Mexico or the whole thing?
any of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
None of it. Like none of it. I kept getting into arguments with my husband about it, to be honest. And
Mhm.
finally one day I remember just bawling, and it was like something I really wanted to do. And he was like, if you really want to do it, go for it.
Andy, that
He
is
said
so
it
nice.
once. He said it once.
All you needed to
But
say it
I
once.
almost feel like
Yeah.
he said it just to please me and to maybe shut me up and make me stop crying. I kid you not. I
She
probably
put it-
sent the deposit the next day.
Andy, I did exactly
I had
the
it
same.
saved there,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Fine, if that's what you want." I'm like, "Say
You don't
less."
need to tell me.
I did
I paid
exactly that.
immediately, and I
Yeah.
told him, and I was like,
Oh,
"I paid it.
yeah.
Thank you so much for like
I was like,
approving." And
before he
he's like,
changes his mind. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I got
So,
the text. and
but-
everything.
but
She's
they
like,
were
"You
all
said yes, so I
scared.
paid it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
all
yeah.
scared. The whole going to Tijuana. Oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. Blah blah blah. When I told my dad, oh my god, and my dad's Colombian, so it's like, everyone was terrified. You hear all like the horror stories,
Yeah.
but again, you are the one that
Mhm.
like really made me feel comfortable, made me feel like it was safe, nothing to worry about, and I had the best time. It literally
Did it?
does feel
Oh.
like you're on vacation.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's
I
what
was
gonna
sad to
say.
come back home.
Like,
I
how
really
fun was
It's like
it?
we
Yeah.
try and go back all the time.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah,
still like,
yeah,
oh,
take
we're
us
going
with
back to
you
Mexico.
next
Yeah,
time.
we're going to Mexico.
I know. You
I
guys,
love it.
Andy called me and she's like, so I'm doing the surgery.
Mhm.
Will you be my companion? I was like,
Yeah.
say less. And that was the first time I had gone back as a companion. And I think I just started working just part-time for USC at the time. And I documented basically kind of like the
Yeah.
process with you. And then I think that did really well on social media. People were like, oh, because you guys, you're with us for like what 6 days and five
nights, yeah.
nights, and so like
Mhm.
we documented like day one, what day one looks like, what day two looks like, and so that was really informative. People just didn't know that, and I think that's really cool too because in the States, you have surgery and you're home that day,
Yeah.
home the day, like. But so that was really like a really good learning thing for social media too to experience that. What was your favorite part? Favorite part about the whole
The
time?
whole thing.
Yeah, the shopping was
the
good.
shopping tour was fun. Our drivers are the best.
Shopping was fun.
I didn't get
Yeah.
to go with the driver.
Oh, you didn't?
I
What did
didn't.
you go with?
So I want to say like, what did I tell you? Like 2 of the girls on our group
Mhm.
did things that they shouldn't have.
Oh.
I was just thinking about doing things they shouldn't have. Keep going.
Oh, that's not like you, Nicole.
And no, well, they ate tacos.
Oh,
well,
no.
oh,
they
what?
chewed tacos and then
It's
they
Right
spit
after the
them out.
surgery.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Oh, my God.
But like you're still swallowing like the oils and stuff. So
Yeah.
then they both ended up back in the hospital.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, because they like could not stop
Oh,
because
It's so
you're
dangerous.
so sensitive. You're
Wow.
so sensitive.
You can get elite
oh,
guys like
that's gonna like. I just feel like that's probably gonna really mess you up from the start.
right.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that should tell you right there that you weren't
not ready.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Because if you're not ready to give that stuff up, like
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like a
Like, you
forever
can't
thing.
do it.
Yeah, it's not for everything,
Yeah.
but like the post-op diet, it's there for a reason. It's not there just to test.
I couldn't even drink water for the first week. Like it was that hard.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mean, you have to.
I know, but what I'm
But-
saying is, like,
but
just
yeah,
even
it was
sipping that,
hard,
I'm like,
yeah.
and then for people to go,
You
I'm
didn't
so
really
hungry.
have
Am I
the
gonna
desire
am I gonna be able to
either.
eat this after I'm done? I'm like, you are not even gonna be able to drink water. Like you're not even gonna want to drink well.
Mhm.
Like it was that hard to get stuff down
Yeah.
that I couldn't even have imagined thinking
about,
that I'd want to have a meal at that
Yeah.
point. I'd be like, because
So they canceled ours.
because the pre-op diet is.
Oh, okay.
So we just like Ubered.
Did ya?
We
Okay.
did.
Nice.
The Uber driver was really
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
He goes, I know where they go. He's like, no worries. Come on, I'll take you.
How
That's so
And
fun.
they took us. And we went shopping. And then we came back. And then some other girls that were in our group were like, you guys went shopping? And then we were like, yeah, they told you need to walk around. They did. Like,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of them didn't want to walk. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is an active recovery. You guys can't just lay there.
Yeah.
You guys can get blood clots in your
And
legs.
yes,
you know?
it's important to get up,
I
get
was like, you
moving,
need to-
walk the gas out as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot
I
of
would
them-
say do that at your own risk, though, because
Yeah.
the company, I remember that, they drop you off at those stores.
Yes.
And then I was like, look there.
Oh,
Across
yep.
the
And they're
street.
like,
That was Kayla.
And they're like, if you want to go, you're on your own, but we can't protect you. You're here with us.
Yes.
So I would say definitely follow the rules.
Yes.
Stick with everyone and you'll
I
be fine.
agree with
You know what I
Andy.
mean? Because
Yeah.
if you cross the street, they're like, there you go. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
we didn't
That's
even
what-
stay in the same area. Like, we went to different boutiques.
Right.
And it
But
was
I mean,
good.
like, obviously,
Yeah.
my partner, she is from Mexico. And
Right.
then,
So she
obviously,
knows
I'm
the
Mexican
language.
and we both speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
so
original.
that's
easy
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
communicate with our driver.
sure.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
easier
but you
for
felt
us
safe
versus
enough.
somebody. If you don't know the language, like,
Yeah, it's a
don't
little
go
bit
there
harder.
expecting everybody to know English because that's
Right.
not
So that
the way
does
it
not
works.
yeah, it's not
You know,
how it
that's not the way
Yeah.
it works.
But the USC staff, they're all
They were great.
bilingual. So everyone speaks
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I think a lot of people come and not everyone has a companion. So they're like, oh, I'm by myself. But you're never really by yourself, are you? Like,
No.
you're never really by yourself. You make friends along the
Oh,
way,
yes.
and then there's always a staff member with you. So yeah, circling back on the tour, our drivers is something that they just do voluntarily, like in their own time. They take,
Everybody
the
shopping.
patients. Yeah, they take them to Revolution Boulevard and there's like 3 shops that we stop at, and then after that they take you to a restaurant where the companions can obviously eat, but
and you get your choice of broth.
yeah, and then patients get the broth, and then after they do their little ice cream, there's like an ice cream gelato place, which is like water based for the bariatric patients. So it's like
That's
it's
great.
really cool because I don't know anywhere that you can
They
like
did
go.
take us to the salon too.
Yes, and then
Oh,
and then the
yes.
salon. Yeah, you
We
do-
went and
you
got
do a
our
bunch in the
nails
salon.
done.
Yep,
Yeah,
mhm.
blowout.
We got
was
pedicures and
fun.
blowouts.
Yeah.
So we were there.
Which is like honestly, guys, like here
It's a
you
mini
go have
vacation.
you go have
Yeah.
surgery and you're home that day and you don't have any
I
like
got a
hydration.
massage too. I forgot about that. We did the massage. Yeah, that place was great.
It was
Yeah.
so good.
Uh-huh.
It was so
That's
good to say.
awesome.
It's a one-stop shop. So I love that it's a whole experience.
Yes.
It's not just
Mhm.
and then after surgery, there is like this, for example, like the podcast, and then we do reunions and we do,
Yep.
we have the
Mhm.
support
It's
groups.
fun.
So it's a whole like community that
Yeah.
UOC has built. And I think that's really,
Mhm.
really pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Huh?
So, I mean, like the first few months, we'll say the first 6 months right after, it's hard. It's hard. Whenever everyone's like, oh, you're taking the easy way, I would get so mad. It's not. It was hard. It messes with you mentally. So it is very important to have, like, I'm very blessed that I had people in my life circle that experienced it and understand me
Mm.
because others don't. They don't understand.
No,
they
they
don't
don't.
understand. Like, I remember the first week I went home and my family was eating like In and Out.
Oh, that's right.
They went into the garage, made a table, had dinner in the
Oh.
garage so I wouldn't smell it because
Aw.
I went upstairs to bed and it messes with
wow,
you. It is
that's
a
so-
mental
right.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You have to be prepared mentally
Mhm.
because you're going to have those moments where you're like bummed out.
hmm
I didn't go out for a while, but I'm so grateful that I chose to be that way because it is setting you up mentally to be like, okay, Andy, you're not going to be able to eat like this for a while. Just stay home, save your coin.
Yeah.
You're fine, But now, I mean, I can eat anything now. I mean, obviously the bubbles still hurt me, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. There's still a restriction. I feel great. I will tell everyone, like, do it. I would recommend anyone to do it,
Yeah.
even though it's hard. You
Yeah.
have your struggle moments. I can't eat sugar, which thank God because
Yeah,
I love
like-
cake. Like
yeah.
literally, I'll take a bite and I'm just like, I'm done.
Really?
So
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
That's great.
Mhm.
So after you guys started losing the weight, like what was your first like non-scale victory? Like obviously the roller coaster thing was for me, but like what was the first thing where you put something on or you seen a photo and you're like, oh look at me go. Like what was that moment for you guys?
I was probably close.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I love
Clothes.
shopping.
Oh, me too.
Thrift. I love thrifting.
Me
Like
too.
you. And
Yeah.
that's the best thing is like getting rid of all your stuff.
I like her thrifting for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't have the patience.
No, me
That's
either.
fair.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
like, I'll wait in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
then I'll
to-
send her photos. Oh, do you like this for you? She'll be like,
I like going to the store and just going and getting
Oh,
the
yeah,
size that I
and
need
no,
and then walking out.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, no, I
even
don't have
so
the
fun.
patience.
But that's only
Angie?
here.
Yeah.
Really?
You gotta be.
Mondays.
It makes you creative.
You-
Savers Mondays. Yeah.
Saves them half price.
Yep. Yep.
You
Not
guys can
creative
drive us.
at all.
Mhm.
No,
Like-
but that's a good tip because we do go through sizes
much clothes.
so rapidly.
Yes.
For
So instead of spending all that coin and
Mhm.
going, just go to a thrift store, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrift store, consignment stores.
I did.
all that.
I did end up going because my son worked there.
You know
So-
what's crazy? It's like I have a 16-year-old is like fitting into her clothes.
Oh,
That was like, I guess that was my like, oh my I'm
Yeah.
wearing my
Yeah.
teenage daughter's clothes. This is crazy. So now she'll like go into my closet and like borrow stuff. But I mean, we have different aesthetics. But I guess that was like such an amazing
that is
feeling.
cool.
You know?
Yeah. Do you know how much Barbie stuff kids have? So I just go to the kids section and buy my
Yeah.
Barbie shirt.
Yeah, you do.
So I love
like
that.
not juniors, like kids. Like not juniors, like kids. Like kids store, even in Australia, like I want to say the toddlers store, right? Kayla will go and because I think in Australia, like the toddlers go up to about what, like a 6 or an 8,
Mm.
maybe. And she's like, go into that toddler store and just see if they've got like an 8,
8 or a 10.
like
Wow.
whatever the biggest toddlers is.
well, because I like wearing tight shirts.
Yeah,
too,
and
as
that
well
so
anyways.
the Barbie stuff in Australia, we get it at the toddler store for Kayla.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's like not.
Isn't
that's
that
not
crazy?
right.
And I couldn't even shop at at 7 years old, I was shopping in the plus size women's store
in
Mm.
Kmart.
in Kmart, and now I'm shopping across the street in the kids' store. It's like, what is
Yeah.
life?
That's so
That's
funny.
awesome.
That
Like
is-
that's what happened. I was, got the smallest I got.
Mhm.
And I actually got a dress. When I got it, I didn't know because it was like one of those things where they have like the adults, the kids, everything together.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like picked up and I was like, oh, I like this dress. And it's like all checkered in different colors, And like, I was like, I want this. And then she was like, okay, well then just buy it. And I was like, okay. So then she's like, but is it going to fit? And I was like, yeah, it'll fit. And she's like, okay. So I buy it and I go home and see, like, not even thinking, right?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the things and just buying them, not looking at the tag.
Yeah.
And I like just the little size thing. That's all. I just picked it up with the little size thing. And when I get home, it says kids. And I was like, oh, this is a little kid's dress.
Yeah.
And I put it on and it fits me as a dress. But
Yeah.
and she's like, there's no friggin' way. And I said, and I walked out the bathroom in my kid's dress.
That's hilarious.
I love that. So how has life changed?
I think better. Like for me, better. Yeah, I could definitely say that. I can only speak for me.
What about you, Nicole?
Me, see, for me, I was smaller. I was always smaller. And then I got big for a couple of years and then I went back to being smaller.
Yeah.
So for me, it was almost like those, I kind of feel like those, even though they did exist, it's almost like they didn't exist for me. Because for me, like I literally kept all of my clothes because I was like, that's it. I'm wearing those again. Like I was determined that I was still going to wear the clothes that I liked. And then obviously I brought bigger sizes. And then once I started losing weight, I remember I was in Australia and then I came back to America and then I started pulling some of my old clothes out, and I was like, oh, these jeans fit. Oh, I remember when I used to wear those. And then I just changed everything back into my old wardrobe, right? So for me, it's almost like those years didn't exist.
Mhm.
Like I feel the same as I did before I was big. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was almost like a reset for me in a sense. The only thing now, like my biggest thing mentally now is, because I feel like I'm pretty strong mentally, the only thing for me mentally now would be some of the things I loved about myself the most are some of the things I dislike now,
Oh,
Right.
like
Mm.
what?
right? So for me, like I was when I was at my smallest before losing the weight, I was quite muscular.
Oh.
I was quite muscular and quite fit looking, and I still kind of sometimes look a bit fit looking. Sometimes it's depending on the clothing, but what it is for me, like where I lost my weight, like my arms, right? I used to love my arms. I had like real athletic sort of arms. I had muscly arms, and now that's where I can see my skin.
Yeah.
That's where my skin sort of falls, and my butt sort of sags a little bit too, right? So for me, I had really good arms. Now look, I'm wearing long sleeves, right? So that's the only, but I know that it's not something that I would necessarily need to get surgery for. I'm just being lazy, right? Like if I ate as much protein as I should and I went back to the gym, my arms would be muscly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd feel. You
I'd
don't
fill
have
it
a
out.
lot. Like it's not like
I
your skin
don't.
is
No,
hanging,
it's not.
just
It's
a
not
little
like that.
wrinkly.
But I can see the wrinkly. So the things that I loved about myself, like myself having muscly arms,
You mean the physical thing?
yeah, other things. Well, but that's what plays
Yeah.
on your in your head.
Yeah.
Like that's what plays on your mind. You know what I mean? It's like the arms that are now not as tight as they were. That they're a little bit wrinkly. So they're the things that I if it's gone from a like to a dislike, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So speaking of the loose, skinny skin, Andy, you had some enhancements, didn't you? What did you get
I
done after
did.
surgery?
I literally could not wait. And I really wish I would have waited. I feel like the best thing is to wait as long as you can to lose as much as you can.
Yes.
I-
Before plastic.
Yes. I lost about 70, 65, and 70, and I plateaued. And I feel like I could have pushed harder,
Mhm.
but I was just ready. And I went and had my mommy makeover, the tummy tuck and breast lift. That was the biggest thing is I had huge breasts.
Yeah, I remember
Oh
before
my
surgery, you kept saying, I just
God.
want
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing. And I feel like that was just a huge weight, literally.
physically too.
Physically.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Your back. was
Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
like
it
talk
was-
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back.
at work. When she-
Yeah.
What was your cup size?
But here's
before?
the thing. Here's what sucks and where it's confusing to me because I
Okay.
feel like a lot of skin was removed. I had really big saggy boobs. Okay. So they removed a lot, but I'm still the same size.
Really?
Yeah. That's where I don't understand that.
That would make sense a little bit
Yeah.
because like if you think about it, you lost so much weight.
Mm.
So your whole section here is
Mhm.
smaller, right? And
Yeah.
then they took skin from you.
Yeah.
So everything is tighter, meaning when they reconstructed and brought them back up,
Yeah.
your boobs are where they're supposed to be, but you don't have any extra skin back here. So
Right.
everything
At the back,
just in
in
your
your-
cup.
in your-
It's
So,
yeah.
I'm
where it's
so like a
supposed to be.
D.
Okay.
You know, and my dream
they're
was
not
to
bigger
have
than
like, yeah. I mean, I don't care. I'm like,
Girls,
I
Maybe
love
you were
it.
midget.
squishing them into a D.
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
You're
I
like a true D
guess.
now. You're
Right.
probably like a,
She had
Yeah.
heads, okay?
Yeah.
She had midgets.
Yeah, they were huge melons, but no, I love it. The tummy tuck, I love it. The scarring was pretty gnarly.
Did you get the extended tummy tuck or the 360?
so it's just
Yours is hip to hip.
it's
right?
hip to hip, but not like very far out. I feel like
Okay.
I needed
The
to.
Extended.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really wish I would have because I have little skin there, so I
The
feel
doggies.
like I'm.
Do you have
Yep.
doggies?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
You
have to go back in and
you didn't have plastic surgery with EOC, did you?
I did not.
Makes sense. That'll do it.
Ah.
No,
Yeah.
just kidding. No, but so they only did just a tummy tuck, not the extended.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I had a bad experience with my plastic surgeon.
Did you?
I'm not
Was it
happy
here in
about
Vegas?
It was here in Vegas.
Okay.
I went and found someone budget friendly, and that was
Mm.
bad
Mhm.
mistake.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
definitely save your coin and go to
Yep.
someone really, really good.
Yeah.
But I have to go back in and get stuff revised and
Revisions.
fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because she told me. She was like,
yeah, it sucks.
I went to her because she needed
Mhm.
pillows and stuff. So I went after her surgery and she just told me, I don't know how this is gonna look after. And I was like, why?
Mhm.
And she's like, because girl, I look at myself in the mirror and
Mm.
you have to think she still has like little tubes hanging out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Mhm.
And she's like, I don't know, it just doesn't look the way I thought it was gonna.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I feel, and we've been watching so many surgeons in Mexico,
For a long
right?
time,
For
yeah.
years.
Mhm.
I feel like they just do bodies different than they do in the US.
Well, you know what? I saw a little bit of what Dr. Lazar said last week and stuff like that, right? And he was saying something about like the difference between Mexico and US doctors are like, even if you go through insurance and stuff, right, they're going to give you a tummy tuck. But insurance and may not even cover the aesthetic side of it.
No.
So, but in
Yeah.
Mexico, what they're going to do is they're going to give you the tummy tuck, but they're also going to make sure it looks aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
And that's the
Mhm.
difference.
Well, if you
Mhm.
go through, so in the US, if you go through your insurance, it's not even called a tummy tuck. It's
like a
called
pen-
something else.
Penile,
Yeah, and it's
Right.
for
penny,
people
yeah.
who have like the
Just the
flap.
skin.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's not even loose skin
Yeah,
because people
so-
have like the wrinkly skin and they get really skinny and they
Yeah.
still have like the little pooch from when they carried kids.
Yep.
But then you have the people that like go
Have the
through extreme
apron.
weight loss and then they have the apron belly,
Yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
can cause infections
Yeah.
and difficulties
Yeah.
in the health. So insurance will cover that, but it's
Yeah.
not even called a tummy tuck because they literally
Yeah.
go
They
in and
just
just cut
cut it
that
off.
piece off.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That's
They don't even lift. They
Yeah.
don't pull. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's tight, and they
Yes.
just cut that piece and then shut it
Yeah,
That's
but
the
no,
difference.
because they
plastic-
said the rest of it is plastic surgery.
Yeah,
Right.
the plastic surgeons in Mexico, they are definitely more aesthetically pleasing. They're more mindful. I think, especially our plastic surgeons, because they do specialize in weight loss patients.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because last week Dr. Lazos was on the podcast and he was saying, like, I said, what made you choose massive weight loss reconstruction? He goes, honestly, there's no course that you go to as a plastic surgeon where you can learn massive weight loss. This was just something like he kind of perfected. And the way he built the EOC team was Dr. Ochoa and Dr. Ochoa learned from Dr. Lazos how to perfect massive weight loss for a whole year.
They all, went and did
They
a year.
all each did a year with Dr. Lazos and he trained them how to do massive weight loss patients.
Yeah.
Because a lot of surgeons, he's like, if I just get a regular tummy tuck, like it's easy, he could probably do that with his eyes closed. You know what I mean? But the
It's all
actual
the skin.
it's a technique that they just
And he wants
he's
to make them
perfected.
look
and he will give you like see
the
all
best
your
that you're
hard
gonna
work.
do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like after
Yeah.
going from one extreme, he wants you to feel and look
Mhm.
as good with all
So
that.
girl,
you
if
know.
you need a revision,
I know.
And now we go.
Yeah, I know a guy.
guy. I know 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
no, but honestly, I would,
Absolutely.
if you really serious about thinking about doing a revision, I would
Yeah.
look into because it's because they do it all the time, but it's crazy, especially on social media when people are like, oh, don't go to Mexico, you're gonna get botched, and it's like, do you know how many US botched surgeries these guys fix?
Yeah.
Oh,
And you know
Yeah.
what? Look, people that make those comments, and I say it all the time, are people that are uneducated. Like they're making an uneducated comment, right?
in the
Like if you
nicest way
actually,
possible. It's an
I'm not saying
I think
I'm not saying they're silly or
uninformed
whatever,
is
but what
probably
I'm
a
saying,
better.
no, they just haven't educated themselves enough on the
Exactly.
procedure,
Yes.
what it is. Then that they haven't done their research, like
They
all
base
that.
it
They're
off of
making
movies.
they're making their comments
Yes.
just on their own thoughts. Because I was one of, I did the same thing. I used to say to Kayla, you're not going. And she said to me, do your research. Like, and it probably took 6 months. Like I didn't research for 6 months, but it probably took me 6 months to like change my mind where I was just like, okay, I knew how important it was to her. So I was just, regardless of what I felt, I was just going to do it to support her because I knew that this is something that she really, really wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did because I learned while I was there and I saw like firsthand how nice they were, how accommodating they were, how well they looked after her, like the service that she got, all of it, the nurse, every single little bit. And it's only because I went through it with her that I was then able to change my own mind and my own thoughts because they looked after me as well as they looked after her. Like I was sleeping in a hospital bed next to her as a companion. Do you know what I mean? Like they were making sure that I was okay. So when I saw all that and realized, then I could give you my opinion because I'd lived it, I'd felt it, I researched it a little bit to know that I was okay with her going, even though I was a little bit scared. But I couldn't say, I should never have said don't do this because I really didn't know. I was just speaking from, it was just hearsay.
Yeah.
It wasn't experience. And I feel like the people that say that stuff, they just don't know. That's why. You know what I mean? They're not doing it for any other reason. It's just that they really don't know.
Yeah.
And that's like the good part, like you guys sharing, like you shared your whole experience with your face.
Right.
You shared your whole experience from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like you're letting people see what can actually happen.
Yeah.
If you aren't scared.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was like what me and her talked about. Like when you finally came out and started telling everybody that you had the surgery and all of this. And then me and her started talking. And then I was like, well, we can go to her doctor. Like, obviously she's not going to share it if she didn't trust her doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was like, that's true. And then I remember I got the text. I booked it.
You're like, we're doing it. And if you let fear, or if you live your life and base your decisions on fear, you will restrict yourself from doing so many things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you have to change your perspective because fear is going to hold you back.
Yeah.
Yep,
You know?
exactly. And when I started my weight loss journey, so my social media presence at that time was plus size fashion blogging, plus size modeling, that kind of thing. And then I didn't tell anyone I'm going to have weight loss surgery because this was when the whole body positivity thing was like huge. And it's like, so I didn't say anything about weight loss. I didn't say I never based my page around weight. I just based it around plus size fashion. I never based it around lifestyle or anything like that. So I never wanted to preach on like what to eat, what not to eat, and all that kind of stuff. But I would appear in my posts, this is my outfit of the day, and I'd be losing weight, and then I'd be losing weight. Every
You were
post
shrinking.
I was shrinking, and then people were like, "You're a sellout. You're not inspirational."
yeah, I
anymore." And
remember
guys,
that.
I lost thousands of followers.
Yeah, I remember.
Thousands. Every post I would post, I would lose like 1,000 followers.
And that's like when you hear people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
body positivity." So what
It
is
was-
body positivity? Only if you're 200 pounds and up,
Uh-huh.
or are you supposed
yeah.
to love every
Right.
single body?
Yeah.
That was
Girl.
my
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Mhm.
That's
I'm
a
like,
whole nother
Yeah.
debate.
Hang on a
Yeah.
minute. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are very thin girls that
Yeah.
are trying to gain weight, right?
Yes.
But they can't. That's just
Yeah.
not their body. Like I had a friend, she was feeding herself because she got a trainer and she really wanted to gain muscle. She really wanted to get like thicker, right?
Mhm.
And she finally said to herself, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" She's like, "I'm spending all of my day thinking about what I'm going to put in my mouth next."
Yeah.
And she's like, "And I can't live like this."
Nope.
And she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. She's beautiful. She's fit. But there are still people who struggle
the other way
being
around.
thin,
Other way, yeah.
and there are people that struggle
Exactly.
being big, and there
Body
are people that are happy
positivity.
that are big, and there are happy people that are little, and there's happy people that are in the middle.
It's all about
Exactly.
being
And it's
positive.
100%.
Though.
That's exactly what it is.
So when I remember
know?
you telling me Kayla lost so many followers
Yeah.
because like she's
Mhm.
shrinking, and I said, then those aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those aren't
No,
real people
body
for the
positivity.
body
Positive.
positivity because you're
I
supposed
agree.
to love everybody
Everybody.
at any
I
size.
agree.
100%.
And that's when the pandemic happened. And I was kind of like, I don't know where I belong now because I've always identified as Aussie plus size Barbie. That was my
Yeah.
thing. And everyone's like, you do
Mhm.
take the plus size out of your name. So I just turned myself to Aussie Barbie. And then I was like, I don't know what to do. And then the pandemic happened. I was like, you know what? I got nothing but time now because my job was like no
Shut
longer.
down.
And it was shut down for the moment. And so that's when I started weight loss Barbie. But it's always been the Barbie thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's me no matter what, through and through. And then it kind of took off. And then I never knew that there was this whole bariatric community, this whole, like a whole nother set of people that you can inspire, but just in a different way. And then I wasn't afraid to share my journey at that point. And
Imagine like
so
you
glad I
lost
did.
so many followers.
Mhm.
You were huge in the pinup rockabilly
Yeah.
thing, you
Mhm.
know?
Yep, they
But look-
disowned me.
Yeah, they disowned you. But look what you gained.
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Hello.
Isn't it crazy?
So much better. I'm
It's-
sorry.
Yeah, I
you know?
think so too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that just, circling back to like letting fear hold you back because I was fearful of like saying anything on that platform because I didn't want to offend anybody. But then I
Mhm.
started a whole new platform and then I've inspired like a bunch of people that
Yeah.
are like, because of you, I went and had the surgery, or because of you, I had the surgery and I'm now pregnant and all that kind of stuff. Like that
Yeah.
is so much more rewarding than
Rewarding.
somebody buying the same dress that I was wearing at
Yeah.
4X. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's amazing. Just really quickly, what's everyone's plan for Halloween?
Ugh.
I'm going trick or treating. I'm not sure where.
Are you?
But yeah, I'm gonna take my kids and just go.
They've got a thing at Decatur. There's like a big market thing. I think it's a
And
swap
Roach
meet
Ranch,
parking
apparently
lot.
there's supposed to be
really?
some
Mhm.
big thing for kids.
Yeah,
really,
there's
really-
like a lot of fun things.
Well, I feel like because we're already dressed now.
I feel like we need to go out tonight.
Yeah, so we'll probably be going for a week. I feel like we're going to have parties for a week. That's what's going to be happening.
You're always having
That's
a
the
party in your
reality.
life.
It's always a party.
There's
Every
always
day,
a party in
every day's a
Kayla's life.
party.
Literally.
Guys, cheers. Raise your glasses, raise your flasks, raise your waters. Thank you
Raise your
for
eyebrows if
being
you can.
raise your eyebrows if you can. Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you guys for sharing your journey with EOC and our listeners. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Woo!
Happy Halloween.
See you guys. Bye.